now that we've laid some fairly solid foundation material, let's delve deeper. Let's delve into things like, I don't know, how to unlock psychic ability itself, what the secret to it all is. That's what I'm actually going to show you. I am going to teach you in honest to true fashion the actual secret to unlocking psychic ability. I'm going to lay it all on the table. And I'm sorry to say you're going to be sadly disappointed. And it's going to be somewhat anticlimactic. But the actual true secret, the real honest to goodness secret to unlocking true psychic ability is trust. Trust of yourself. As I said before, we're going to have a big discussion on trust. Well, this is it. The simple reality is that you are your own best friend or worst nightmare. If you really truly learn to trust yourself in everything you do, then you get to actually live the life that you mean to live. You get to live the life you were born or created to live, if you want to use those terms. If you lie to yourself and don't trust yourself and second guess yourself, then your life is going to be shaped by all of that. So when we want to develop psychic ability, you pretty much can't do any of it without absolutely trusting yourself. After all, we're delving in talents and skills that aren't commonly known or understood. And if you don't trust yourself in dealing with them, how could you possibly succeed? It's not like using piano playing ability, which is my favorite thing to talk about if you haven't guessed already, that someone can show you and prove to you and teach you and makes perfect sense. It's logical, it's defined, it's structured, it's ordered. We don't have that with psychic. Nothing dealing with psychic ability has any of that kind of stuff. There's too many versions, there's too many interpretations, there's too many personal talents and skills. And well, the simple reality is every last one of us is going to do it different, even if we're doing what seems like the same thing. So the whole point is that we need to learn to trust. We need to trust our instincts. We need to trust our own feelings. Like I've said before, if something feels right for you, then try it. You've got nothing to lose. If it feels like there's just nothing there for you, then you're probably right. There probably won't be. Those are elements of trust. Now, there's more than just trust required, of course, but that's the big one. That's the key element. Without that trust, the rest don't matter. The simple reality is that you also need, well, effectively, if you really want to have any kind of ability, doesn't matter what it is, psychic, otherwise, creative, doesn't matter, it all requires three basic elements. You need the ability itself, which you're effectively born with. It's not something you can train if you don't have the knack. Like, look at math, for example. Some people can barely do addition, and other people can happily do theoretical physics in their sleep, literally. It's because we all have different talents and skills, and the abilities are different. And what we have, we're born with. It just doesn't mean it's there, usable, and developed when we're born. It just means we have to take time, but we need the ability. Well, we also need the power to make it work. If I say, for example, want to be a violin player and I have both arms amputated, it's going to require a lot of work to get to the point that I could play the violin. Now, with modern technology, I can get artificial limbs and can do other things. I could play it on the piano or on the computer or whatever else. But at the end of the day is I got to learn a whole new set of skills that takes a lot of time. And that's the point. I have to have the power to make it work too. But more importantly of all of those, I need the will, which is trust, which is faith. I need to actually have the desire to make it happen. If I decide that I'm just too afraid of it, that I can't deal with that, I'm not going there, it's not going to work because I'm going to make sure of it. And that's the point. So if I don't have trust, I can undermine every ability that I have. I can truly destroy all my potential because I just don't trust me. And that's the problem. So, well, if we're trying to figure out how to develop something, well, how on earth do we develop trust? It's, for most people, seems like a really simple idea, but it's pretty much the hardest and most complicated thing you'll ever have to do. There's nothing harder in life than learning to trust yourself. But that's why it's a universal key. It unlocks everything. If you truly trust yourself, it not only unlocks psychic ability, it unlocks everything else. You just can't imagine what trust unlocks in life. Now, some of the easiest ways to develop trust is to do the things that we're afraid of. For example, I don't know, simple things like looking at your own eyes in a mirror. How many of us do that and we shy away, we turn away, like it's like almost like a physical punch in the soul or something? Well, that shows we don't trust ourselves. Now, I'm sure there's lots of people, I look in the mirror all the time, brushing my teeth and combing my hair and putting on makeup or shaving or whatever. Well, you're not really looking in your own eyes, are you? You're pretty much doing everything you can to avoid looking in your eyes when you're doing all these other things. If I'm brushing my teeth, I'm not looking at my eyes, I'm looking at my teeth and my toothbrush. So that's the point. If I really, really want to develop trust, that's a great place to start. Just go and spend like a couple of minutes a day just looking at yourself in the mirror, staring at yourself direct eye-to-eye contact and see what's there. And yeah, for most people, it's scary. And that's the point. You don't trust yourself. You don't know what's inside, and that's what you're afraid of. But if you develop trust, you don't have to be afraid. And then it unlocks everything. Now, I do have another technique that you can use that I very readily tell everyone and their dog. And it will make you feel very goofy to do, but it really does work. It's what I call walking on the floor. I call it that because effectively that's what you're doing. You're telling yourself everything you're doing at every moment you're doing it. Right now, I'm sitting in a chair recording video, sitting in a chair recording video, talking to an audience, recording video, sitting in a chair. That's what I'm doing. So if I want to go get something from the fridge to eat, I go walking on the floor, entering the kitchen, walking on the floor, opening the fridge, looking in the fridge, opening the crisper, looking in the crisper. Oh, there's an apple, wanting an apple, grabbing an apple, shutting everything, going to the cupboard, grabbing a plate, the whole point, right? I'm telling myself everything I'm doing. I'm effectively providing a monologue to my own life. And as I said, you feel very dumb doing it. You feel really stupid. You don't have to do it out loud, though. Just running it through your head is enough. And what happens is, as we do it more and more and more, we get so comfortable doing it, we'll start seeing the things we don't want to see. Oh, getting mad at my boyfriend, bitching out my wife. Oh, getting real angry and agitated at the kids, want to strangle them. Uh-oh. Now all of a sudden we get taken aback. And that's the whole point. Is that once we understand that we have the thoughts and feelings that we really legitimately do, then we can deal with them. We can take them in control and make them happen. As other people out there have said, many experts, I won't get into names, have said you can't change what you don't acknowledge. Some of you, I'm probably sure, have a few ideas of who said that one, but they're absolutely right. You can't change what you don't accept exists. If you tell yourself that it's not real, how can you change it? After all, it's not real. You said so. So by dealing with this simple, basic exercise, it allows us to build a level of trust that we now are allowed to see what we're really doing every day, that we're allowed to feel what we're feeling every day. And that is a huge development thing in trust. That opens a tremendous door into trust. Because once we understand that we are who we are and we feel what we feel and we like what we like and we don't like what we don't like, it's real easy to trust yourself. Which of course then also makes it easier to look at your eyes in the mirror. So the two really go hand in hand. If you don't like what you see when you look at yourself in the mirror square eye to eye, why not give the walking on the floor exercise some trial? Put it through the test for a day. See how you feel at the end of the day. See how you feel the next morning after spending a day doing it. And again, it's not going to require a tremendous amount of effort constantly. It's like walking in general. In the beginning, you had to think about it and figure out what you're doing and how to do it and how to make your feet work. But now, after years and years of practice, you don't even have to give it a conscious thought. Same thing with this. It doesn't take years, just probably takes a couple of weeks. But once it's embedded, it's there. And all of that will lead you to trusting yourself. So at the end of the day, what have you got to lose? If you really want to develop your talents, the key is trust. Doesn't matter how you look at it or what else you want. That's the secret to unlocking every ability, including psychic ability, is trust. So give it a whirl. Think about it. See you soon.